Hey, what's up guys? Today we're doing Boruto episode 79 review, so without further more ado, let's get into this. So inside the beginning part we get to see Kikuyo confront them, and that's when, he presents himself and all that. And we find out that Kikuyo is, really old, and like this man is really ancient. As we keep going, we get to see Kikuyo present himself and Nakuda. And that's when, of course, that's when they strike. Boruto is questioning him about, what these things are. And I think, Shikadai was also doing the same. And that's when Kikuyo just straight up speed blitzed them and came up behind them and, whacked at him. Which, we see that he doesn't use ninjutsu, but he more of uses taijutsu. So he's very strong inside that area. And this kind of gave me Kakuzu vibes with, the beast right beside him. It's just giving me those type of vibes to him. So later on we get to see, the Akuda is fighting Sadara too. And that's when, she's starting to get like overbeared by this thing. So this beast is quite powerful anytime, Sadara is struggling against it. As we keep on going, we get to see that Kikuyo talks about himself more, that he loves fighting people like Boruto, Sadara, and Shikadai because, they are quite tough opponents, which, in my opinion, I feel like they're like at Jonin level or higher, because we see those Jonin get fodernized by Kikuyo, and we look at, Sadara, Shikadai, and Sadara, they're not quite keeping up with them, but they are, doing something against him. Even though they may be still getting fodernized by Kikuyo, it's better than nothing. It's better than just getting straight slapped down to the ground, and just like those other ninja did. But after that, we get to see the, Sadara, she actually overpowers Hakuda and she throws it at Kikuyo. And that's when, that's when he slaps it down, and Shikadai did his shadow paralysis on it. And we get to see, Boruto do his Rasengan on it, and it blows a hole right through it. And that's when, Kikuyo, he gets serious, and that's when he starts moving extremely quick. And he basically was stating something like Rock Lee would state. Something about, your eyes may keep up with me, but, my movements you cannot keep up with. And that kind of gave me a little bit of Rock Lee vibes right there. Like from part 1 when he was fighting Sasuke, the tuning exams. He basically stated something very similar to that. But, anyways, we see the Shikacho, they finally reunite and they come in to go fight Kikuyo. So the next part we get to see, Mitsuki and Sakai talking. He's talking about Kikuyo should have been came back because he's so darn strong, but that's not the case. He's actually having some sort of good fight against them because, they are fairly strong. Team 7 and Team 10, they're really nothing to play with. They're not as easy as just one swipe and they're gone, They're going to give you a good challenge, even if they did get fodernized. But anyways, the Akuda pop up and they give in a report, which kind of reminds me of like White Zetsu. So these things are sort of like a White Zetsu, but they're a lot tougher than a White Zetsu. Because, we saw White Zetsu inside Shippuden. They were like giving intel, they were like creeping around and all that. And we see these Akuda, they're kind of doing the same thing. They're kind of acting as like the White Zetsu of Boruto at the moment. We know that there are White Zetsu around, like we saw in some previous arcs. We see that these talent for this arc, that the Akuda is like a White Zetsu picking up intel for him. But anyways, they get to tell him that, and he basically tells him that, Sadara and Boruto got past him, and that, Team 10 is fighting Kikuyo. That's when he gets to prepare for all that, and that's when, the Akuda actually pop up from the ground. And that's when, Kikuyo's orders was to keep Mitsuki like on watch to guard him, make sure he don't really go anywhere, because he still doesn't trust him. That's just by Kikuyo's orders, so Sakai had to do that. They went to go confront Boruto and Sadara, which, a little bit before that, So that's when we see, Boruto and Sada are talking, and that's when, they have that butterfly gun explode, and that's when, Sakai confronts Boruto and Sada, and that's when he's asking about, about Mitsuki. What are you to Mitsuki? He's also interested about, because they're humans, he wants to know more about them in a way. The animation right there, the animation when Sakai is talking, I don't know, I low-key find it hilarious. I just like the way they animate Sakai into this episode, like the facial zoom ups and all that. I don't know, I just really love that. I forgot his name that, did Boruto episode 79, but, applause to you, man. You done a really great job. Just, the animation alone, it just makes me want to have a really high rating for this episode. Like, probably right around, the 10 mark. Like, I can't really find too much problems, like around a 9 or 10. Like I said, it's just, I'd probably give it a 10, because I did like this episode a lot. Just the fact of how they animated him with the close-up and all that. I kind of do like Sakai in a way. I kind of find him a pretty hilarious character, if you ask me. But to get back, after all that, we get to see, when Sakai confronts them about, questioning why do you come after Mitsuki, Boruto kind of gets pissed off. But, Sadara calms him down. But a little bit later on, after all that C4 charge stuff, we get to see, Boruto, he confronts Sakai about that, about the Claymore charges, kind of like how we see, Data. Data is one of the other people that did use that, but we know Data was human, but this dude is definitely not human. He's just like Takuda, which, Boruto and Sadara found out eventually, and you know how Sakai is, he just straight blabbers stuff out. Like, he just can't hold secrets. This man just keeps on telling, secrets that's not supposed to be. But anyways, after all of that good stuff, after, the explosive charges, chasing them, Boruto does the summoning with Garaga, and Garaga, he wasn't really having that. After Boruto is basically saying, like, attack him and all that, Garaga's, like, he was getting, he was just, like, saying, like, nah, fam, we ain't doing this. Like, I go by my own orders. So, like, see, he wasn't quite cooperating with them. He did do a summoning contract with them. He's not gonna just quite cooperate with them, which actually I thought that part was actually pretty darn funny, if you ask me. But after all that, we get to see, it goes back to Ino-Jin and, I just call it the Ino Shikacho, aka Team 10. They're fighting Kikuyo, and Kikuyo is still fraternizing them. Like, they have to go retreat just to get away from him, because, Kikuyo is really nothing to play with. This man is very, very tough to go against. So, like I said, they had to go, fly away, create a diversion and, fly away from there, because he's just way too tough. But then it goes back to, Sakai, Boruto, Garaga, and Sadara. And that's when we see this man Garaga roasting Boruto. Like, I thought this was probably the best part of the episode, when Garaga was just straight up roasting this man. Like, I don't know, I just found that part really hilarious. I was rolling, to be honest, because, like I say, he was just straight roasting him. And even after, when, Mitsuki later on in the episode confronts him, Boruto is trying to confront him. It kind of reminded me when Sasuke was looking at Naruto, because he left to, I think Sasuke went rogue. Naruto was looking up at Sasuke, and we're seeing Boruto look up at Sasuke pretty much the same way. Also, I kind of cracked a joke, like, remember when Patrick was looking at SpongeBob? It just kind of reminded me of that. I was just cracking up jokes. But anyways, so after we see, you know, Mitsuki walking up to Boruto after Boruto is basically saying, hey, come back, we see this man Mitsuki be a savage, and he straight slapped that headband right out of his hand. Like, I don't know about y'all, but low-key was kind of cracking up. I know I wasn't supposed to crack up because that was supposed to be an emotional moment for Boruto, but I don't know, it kind of had me cracking up like, damn, this man's savage. But that's just to me though. And he just straight snake lightning this man to a rock, which, like, damn man, like, that was super mean. He just straight up did this to this man after he's trying to get you back. So after all of that, that's when this man Goraga just starts going in again. Just starts roasting this man Boruto. Like, this man just got no chill to him. Like, I don't know, I just really love Goraga. He was just straight roasting this man. I thought that was hilarious. And even Kikuyo said, you're not even worth killing. Which, you know, that's actually pretty damn humiliating if you ask me. That's pretty much all I had to say for this episode review. I'm sorry this is a tidbit long, but anyways, if you guys are new here, make sure you guys subscribe and also drop a like to support your boy. But anyways, it's been your boy Dude Balboa. I'm out.